Assalamu alaikum. London Living with Rizwan Rashid is here tonight with another show. It perhaps might be a different because we're not talking about Urdu language, we're talking about English, but it's the same theme. It's all about immigration. It's all about an immigrant. More importantly, what is an inspiration story we have tonight in order to share with you? And I'm sure we all immigrants come from a part where we left our homeland, come and establish ourselves in North America. We actually have a lot of struggles with that. With that struggles, we try to survive. Our survival mode contains. But here's what I want to share you tonight: that this immigrant not only settled here, made herself to the new culture, new weather, new social norms, new language, but she thrived. I said she, so I'm sure you got the idea. She's a girl. Yes. She actually immigrated from Iran to Canada back in the days, and she actually thrived in order to step onto the ladder, not only becoming a successful person in personal and professional life, but she started in the entrepreneurial world. And in entrepreneurial world, not one, but two avenues, and she is a big voice. While she was in the entrepreneurial world, she had a deep understanding on personal and professional side of mental wellness, where she championed this on different forums all the time. And this is where I've been connect with her and actually inspired by her thought process about mental wellness. But lately, she actually started a book, and she became an international author, award-winning author from other co-authored book. This time she wrote her own book named Joyness, available on Amazon. But what we really wanted to talk about, and what I wanted to leave you with her and its inspiration, because once you learn about her story, that the person who actually moved from her homeland to Canada, become a successful immigrant, become a successful entrepreneur, and become a voice of mental wellness. And now she wrote a book about that. This is where we all can get inspiration, because sometimes we get stuck. We get stuck in our survival mode after we move and leave our loved one behind into a new world. And then when this survival mode sometimes lasts long, we lose hope and we lose confidence in ourselves, which turns into bad memories, bad relationships, bad action. So I want you to get inspiration from tonight's show, and wanted to leave with you something amazing. So my friend, tonight we have Dela Fotoohi. Let me bring her on the stage with you. Help me welcome Dela Fotoohi. Welcome to the show. London Living with Rizwan Rashid. Assalamu alaikum. And today I'm here with someone very special. And that special person to me is Dela Fotoohi. Dela Fotoohi is just like me and all of you, an immigrant in Canada. And while we are all struggling in order to figure out our way and establish ourselves, Dela Fotoohi actually leap into bigger and better world. What she actually accomplished, here I'm going to share with you today. And I'm going to ask Dela to give us her perspective in 4 fronts where she accomplished many victories. Number 1, she not only she became a successful immigrant, she migrated to Canada. She actually started to build her family as well as business. You heard it right. She became an entrepreneur with a deep desire to reach more people and help and support the community where she can flourish more. And in entrepreneurial world, she is not only limited to one, but she had 2 businesses. And then further on, she actually had a deep understanding right from her core heart about mental wellness. She is a champion of mental wellness and talk a lot on social media and off social media about helping other people to feel better and do better within our community and abroad. And the last and latest, her quest was becoming an author. Although she had co-authored a couple of books before, but a new book came up, and that was just just the last one is to put her on the pinnacle of success, and I wanted her to come on this show and share her personality so you can get as inspiration. You feel that you as an immigrant can do a lot more than you even thought of that. So let me help welcome Dela Fotoohi on London Living Show. Hello, Dela.
Hello, Rizwan. Hello. Hello to all your viewers. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Thank you.
Dela, we've been in contact and we've been, having a lot of discussion. And this new book, in Joyness, has just prompted me to really ask you these deep questions and all those fronts, because we as an immigrant really need inspiration. We really need someone who's holding the light, who's been able to have few steps forward and been able to inspire others and guide us to do different things. And you have done a lot more. So first of all, I wanted to ask you, my show is typically asked, okay, how do you become an immigrant? Where it all started? So as an immigrant, do you have any funny story? I have a lot of them for me.
Yeah, we all have funny stories as immigrants, don't we? As we try to make ourselves comfortable in a new environment, learning the new language and learning the culture and finding friends and, getting things familiar to us, because now nothing is familiar anymore. So yes, years ago when I was a newcomer to Canada, I was helping out with the help of a friend. I got a job for like a day doing inventory at a company she worked at. And so as we're in the back room doing the inventory, one of the employees came in and he saw me and he didn't know me. So he wanted to get to know who I was. And so he asked me my name and I said, my name is Dela. And then he said, how did you fit in? And in
How
my
did you fit in?
head, yes, how did you fit in?
Uh-huh.
And in my head, I'm thinking, what's he asking me? Is he
Uh-huh.
asking me how I came through the door? Like, what do you mean how
Uh-huh.
I fit in? So obviously my answer was, uh, I came through the back door. And he was laughing so hard, and he went to my friend and he explained to her what he had asked me was really, how do you fit in, meaning who do you know here, like how come you're here? Who do you know that brought you here? And that was really funny. But I've had a lot of funny things happen to me, and but this was one of the ones that really stuck in my mind. How do you fit in? I will never forget that
How do
expression.
you fit out
Yeah.
from the back door?
Through the back door. But we learn. And so that's the best thing, because our minds are so open to new experiences. As I think as immigrants, we are in a unique position because we have so many things going right for us. First of
Mhm.
all, we've moved because we are really thirsty for that new, better way of living.
Mhm.
And so that puts us in the unique position of wanting to learn. We're curious, we like the adventure. We're not afraid of hard work.
Yeah.
Rizwan, you probably know this, that a lot of businesses in Canada are run by immigrants. We are business owners. We are entrepreneurs because we're not afraid of hard work.
Mhm.
And so that's quite unique, I think, to immigrants.
Sure.
And the fact that we are learning new things, that makes us, I think, sharper. It keeps us young because we're always having to be on our toes. I think you can relate to this because I've always felt like I've had to work harder than other people
Mhm.
because of the language barrier. I've had to work harder. I've had to study harder. I've had to do a lot more work than my counterparts. So that's always kept me sharp, I think, in a way. So these are awesome things to look at when you are, an immigrant.
True, true. because the deepest desire first is survival, right? You want to survive here, you want to maintain here, and then from survival you start your struggle, and from struggle you go to success, and that is the trajectory we have seen. In fact,
Yes.
one of the CMHC, that's a real estate forum, that talks about it. They said over 40% real estate it actually gets into immigrant every year. The immigrants who comes in, they take about a year to 2 years to settle in, and then they see all the increase happening, especially in that, the two hubs, the GTA and then British Columbia. They see that immigration actually works, and due to COVID-19, that 6 month where there was no immigrant came in, they are looking for a little bit turmoil into the real estate market, and that tells us immigrant is part of this society, and
Absolutely.
we as an immigrant myself, we appreciate that, the Canadian part of it, of accepting and welcoming all people from all walks of life, and then they help us moving forward. So as an immigrant, Dela, you're from Iran.
Yes.
I'm not going into the political part of it. When did you left Iran and move to Canada, and where in Canada you are now?
So, my journey as an immigrant actually started back in 1987. I was years old.
You were babe.
I was very, very, very no, I was in my early teens. I was 13 actually when I left Iran. So we moved to France because my aunt lived in France. So my mom picked me up and my little brother and two suitcases, and she left Iran and she said, we're going to move to France for a better life.
Mm-hmm.
And so we lived in France for about 2.5, almost 3 years,
Okay.
during which time, of course, I had to learn French, new way of life. Teenage girl in, France. It's quite a shocker.
Yeah.
I come from a Middle Eastern background,
Yeah.
and
Different culture, different.
oh my gosh, yes. Like everything is new, Rizwan. Like the language is different, that's for sure. I mean, that was so hard for me to learn, but at the same time, you leave behind absolutely every single thing
Mm-hmm.
that is familiar to you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yeah.
So your family, whomever loves you is no longer with you,
Mm-hmm.
and so you have to make it fresh. You have to start a new life, everything.
Yeah.
So I think, as you know a lot of times we forget that can have such impact on our mental wellness, because um, we all have that connection that we have had for a long time with our family, our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, our cousins. And now all of a sudden we don't have any of that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so that can make a kid really lonely. It can cause depression. It can cause anxiety. And so I think we need to be aware of stuff like this. And I've had to learn all of this. Today, I don't take that for granted one bit. So that was a big part of my journey going to France. And then after almost 2.5 years, my mom decided that we need to move again, because France was not going to be the perfect place for us, wasn't the ideal place. And so we moved again, and she decided we're going to come to Canada. Was
Yeah.
so welcoming, so hospitable, so respectful, that it was so nice to walk into Canada and feel that this is a place where I can make a home. This is a place I can belong. And so that's how it started.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So in Canada, I mean, although you were in teenagers, came here, you settled in, you got educated, you got into this. Now, you actually gain what most of us want is to become entrepreneur, to have our own business or be our own boss. So you have two businesses right now. So how this entrepreneurship came into you? I mean, was this kind of geared from your mom or your brother or surroundings? What's something inspire you to become entrepreneur?
Okay, so my mom, okay, so we're Iranian background, right? So, and if you know Iranian parents,
Mhm.
they want their kids to be either doctors,
Engineer.
lawyers, engineers, or like the least dentists. Like
Yeah,
that's it. Those four things.
I got
And
it.
and my mom was no exception. So I went to university and I actually studied sciences. I soon realized that I was having too much fun and I was not studying enough. So medical school was not going to be in my near future. So after I graduated from university, I worked in retail for a long time. And what that did for me was that I realized that I had a deep connection with people. I was really good with people and I could relate to people. And so I built on that, and that gave me a lot of interpersonal skills.
Hmm.
And when I was about 30, my son was born. So I got married to my husband when I was 24, and we've been together ever since. It's been 24 years now. He'll kill me. 24 years now. And so when my son was born, when I was back in 2002, I decided that I wanted to become my own boss.
Hmm.
That gave me that push that I needed. So that's when I started a business. But before that, I always knew that I wanted to do more. I needed more adventure. I wasn't the type of a person who would go to work from 9 to 5. I needed that excitement. I needed to solve problems.
Hmm.
I didn't want a boring life. So
Hmm.
I always tried different things, different adventures. I think when I was really young, I went into stock market and I lost a bunch of money there. And I opened up another business, which wasn't really the greatest, and I lost a bunch of money there. But it was always a
We all
learning.
learn.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter that you failed. You shouldn't really look at it as failure. I mean, back then it sucked, obviously, when those things happened. But at the same time, you learn. You live and learn. Nobody learns without making mistakes. And so,
Absolutely.
if you haven't made mistakes and you live your whole life really safe without really um, living adventures and making mistakes, then you're not really learning anything.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot through the years. But yes,
Learning is like carving blocks out of a mountain. You destroy the mountains, you carve out them blocks and build pyramids.
that's great. Yeah, that's great. Just like that.
Yeah.
Boom. Yes, that's it. That's it. So yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes through the years. I've learned, and my recent adventure was 17 years ago when I started my own flower shop, and it's been it's been such a blessing.
Mm.
It gives me joy. It brings me a lot of pleasure, but it also allows me to do other things on the side, which I have been doing. And yeah, I've been doing all these different things. So the second entrepreneurship while this was happening was Dela's Voice.
Yeah, I was about to say this that Dela is also a host of two podcasts, which are both are really, really popular. One is Dela's Voice, and she also co-hosts the Magnetic Entrepreneur podcast. So yes, so Dela Voice came in because Dela need to voice her opinion and help other people bring their voices to a larger audience.
Thank
So
you. Yeah.
Dela voice came into there.
Yes. Yes. So Dela's voice came in because, as you know, Rizwan, I'm a big advocate for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I've had my own experience with, and in my family with mental health and addiction. So that has been something that I've worked with for the past few years, and I've decided that I'm going to be a voice for mental wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the longest time, I did not have a voice. I was too shy. I was the kind of person who didn't really speak her mind. And if I did, it was really just in accordance to the group, because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to be questioned. I didn't like conflicts of opinion. And so when I found my voice was because I spoke up. For the
Mm-hmm.
first time, I spoke up about what was bothering me, about my issues, about my family's issues. And so when I started talking, I realized a few different things. One of them was that when you start talking, you realize that you're not the only one, that
Mm-hmm.
other people are also going through their own troubles and tribulations and struggles, but maybe they're not brave enough to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is that you find help, because now because you open up, all these doors open up for you. And for me, the help came in the form of different organizations, different resources, people, coaches that came my way, podcasts and speakers and, all these leaders, thought leaders. So all the help was there. It was just a matter of opening up to it. And the third thing that happened to me was because I spoke up, I became stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I spoke up, the stronger my voice got. And the better I could tell my story. It was a stronger impact. And so I decided that instead of keeping this to myself, I need to open up this opportunity so that other people could also speak their stories. So through
Ah.
Dela's voice, what I do is I interview people who have a story. Every single person that comes on Dela's voice has had their share of struggle,
Mm-hmm.
something that was really hard for them, an adversity that they were able to rise above, and as a result become stronger, and they've made that their passion in life, and now they're helping other people
Mm-hmm.
get through their struggles. So that's been Delo's voice, and that's been a blessing, and it's been just such a pleasure, because through that I've been able to meet amazing people like yourself, and really superheroes all around, and it's been just a learning experience.
Well, folks, if you have just noticed during all the conversation, what I actually really want you to focus, we actually try to do whenever we want to do something different, we are stuck in the how part of it, the how it's going to happen, who is going to help, when it's going to happening, all those unknown questions which we don't have answer, and we don't focus on what I really want to do and why I want to do it. We say how, when, where, who. Those are the unknown questions we don't have. And Della took that, the leap of faith, and she started talking about it, and then she said, I got hold of people, get coaches, mastermind, everything start pouring in. She got kind of all help. And I'm sure, Della, you were not aware of those opportunities or the people, or those people around you who's going to support you and take you to the next level. Is that true?
Well, I mean, you're not aware because you're not looking,
Yes.
right? And so
Yes.
as soon as you speak up, as soon as you ask for help,
Mm-hmm.
that's when things come your way because now you're open. Before that, it's like you have a wall around you and you have a tunnel vision. Like this is all you see. And as soon as you drop your guard, because now you're not afraid anymore, because now you're not prisoner of the stigma anymore. Now you can see better, like, and then you see that the help is all around you.
Wow. You said something really, really special, that we are all captive of worriness. And you said once you drop that, you become really powerful. That power from within you, it actually takes you to the next level. And that is, I think, the power behind your entrepreneurship. That is the power behind your going to the next level. And now we want to step into your being an author of an amazing book in Joyness. What is this book, and what do you want to share? Because you're talking about mental wealth, and now you have
Doing a little shameless marketing here. Okay, I want to make
Yes.
sure people can take this name down, because there you go. You don't want to forget this name, okay?
Yes.
And this face, because you're going to see a lot more of this face, okay?
In Joyness, this is on Amazon.
So yes, so you you can buy it on Amazon.ca. You can definitely order that. That'll be such a blessing to me, because this being an author, Rizwan, was one of those things that I never thought was possible for an immigrant girl from Iran, honestly. And so I always thought, oh my God, authors, like, they have such a powerful way of touching the world.
Yeah.
But who am I to become an author, right? It was just one of those impossibilities.
Thoughts, yeah. Self-limiting beliefs.
Self-limiting beliefs. And so I started many books in different forms, because it was always in the back of my mind. But I never really went back to finish them. This was a commitment to myself. And I started this book on June 24th of 2019. And it was finished on July 26th of 2020. So it took just over a year. And in finishing this book, I really did a favor to me, first of all, because I did something that I had promised myself that I would do. And this is one of those things that I always say: when you make a commitment to yourself and you keep that commitment, you are building your self-esteem. Because now you've promised something to you and you've kept it.
Beautiful.
And so I think I was really selfish in writing this book. First of all, was for me. It is a story of my struggles. It is a story of my deepest, darkest moments. And so in writing it, I hoped to inspire someone out there who's probably living the same similar agony, and letting them know that it's okay to talk about it. Because unless you talk about it, you're not going to be able to heal. I once heard that secrets make you sick.
Secrets make you sick.
Yes. And so I hope that you can talk about what's holding you back. You can talk about what's paining you. I hope you can talk about whatever is in your heart, so that you can see that you're not alone, that other people are also suffering, and together we can help each other. Together we can heal. So I'm very proud of this book. Also very proud that it became #1 bestseller in Canada, and it's international bestseller as well. And
Yay.
so, yeah, I know it's awesome. So I've also co-authored in 2 other books. I'm hoping that by the end of 2020, I will have co-authored in 10 more books
Mm-hmm.
with Robert J. Moore. So that'll be book number 13 in like 1 year.
Wow.
I know. I think it's amazing. So here's what I say to you if you're watching this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the slightest desire to get your story out, I want to say this to you.
Mm-hmm.
Write your story.
Mm-hmm.
Because your story is unique to you. Your journey is unique to you. No one in the world can tell it the way you do.
Yeah.
And if you die with your story untold, you would do this world a disfavor.
Mm-hmm.
So do it.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Della, because even as an entrepreneur coach, I actually share with everyone is your story is so important. Your story of your passion turning into profession is so important. And the reason is other people need to know at a human level who you are and why they connect with you, because they're not worried about that features and benefits your product or services is offering. You have to pour your heart to let other people see in, and that's how they know you, trust you, and then they do business with you.
Yes.
So as an entrepreneur, you have to have that story, and everybody does. It's just a matter of it crafting that story, and after you craft, how do you present it? And last one is how do you put that onto the stage so you can reach millions? So Della, I second your thought. We have to have that story out because everybody does, and not necessarily everybody has a sad story.
No.
There's a good stories too.
Of course. I mean, my book is filled with happy stories too. It's not just sad stories.
That's why it's in Joyness.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the thing of it is that in every single story there's a lesson to be learned. And so that's what makes it important. The story itself is a story, but the lessons learned from the story is what makes it special. And so I hope that you are writing your own story. I hope that you're not intimidated by the idea of being an immigrant. Because your story for sure needs to be told.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic. Dela Fotoohi is here with us in London Living with Rizwan Rashid, and we were talking about her 4 major things: being an immigrant, being an entrepreneur, being author, and talk about mental wellness. Dela, your book is awesome. I have not read it yet. I must say it because I have not received it yet, but I did order. I will be looking forward to read and understand your aspect of it. But I wanted to know what message you wanted to give out to immigrants, especially the people who are coming from all over the world, settle in the beautiful Canada and North America. What message you want to give out as an entrepreneurs? I know you mentioned, break all the self-limiting belief and step out and you become brave. What message you wanted to leave?
Okay. Can I give 2 messages?
Yes.
Okay. My number 1 message is this, that if we're specifically talking about Canada, I want to say that Canada is a great country. I came to Canada because of the values this country already had. And so I want to be respectful to those values and be true to myself as a human being. but also keep my culture, keep my background alive and keep my language alive. But it's very, very important for me that I stay respectful to the Canadian values, because that's what makes this country so lovable. That's what attracts so many people from all over the world. That's how come we can all live here peacefully. So that's number one. That number one message. I hope that was clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two message is this: nothing holds you back. Nothing holds you back. The only thing that holds you back is what things you tell yourself. I once heard this and I want to repeat it. Okay, this is a quote. I heard Oprah Winfrey say it, and I think there's so much truth to that. The words that follow I am come looking for you. So be careful what you say after the words I am. So that's it. That's my message. There's nothing that holds you back. Not your language barrier.
Yeah.
Not the fact that you're an immigrant.
Yeah.
Not your disabilities. Nothing can hold you back except you.
Beautiful. This is Dela Fotoohi, an entrepreneur, author, and a successful immigrant here in Canada from Iran. And she shared her story, which had a lot of turns. And I'm sure you had seen a lot of turns in your immigrant life. And I'm sure you might be at one point looking to understand how this whole life trajectory working out in your favor and how you're becoming successful. It's easy. Believe in yourself. Drop all those self-limiting beliefs and you will find the success. Just like Dela, she just said it. And quite frankly, this has been said a number of times. And look for her book because it is on Amazon in Joyness, and share her heart out, giving you all that valuable advice that you can ever want it. Dela, it's been an honor for having you here and a good inspiration for all of our immigrants listening to your story, understanding and feeling how you step on forward. As soon as you put your mind into it, you were able to achieve. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Rizwan, and thank you to your viewers who watched this. I hope you take some value from this talk. I'm
Absolutely.
very grateful.
Absolutely.
And that's, folks, was the show. I'm sure you gather a lot of information, a lot of golden nuggets from Dela Fotoohi, who shared her heart in terms of how she became an entrepreneur, what is required to be entrepreneurship, and then authorship. Sharing her story, she inspired you to share your story. And that's a lot of us is holding us back. And I love the word she said, secrets made you sick. If you're holding on to the secrets, it's definitely going to make you sick. So let's share your secrets and be vulnerable. Once you become vulnerable, you become human. And when you become human, all other humans going to love you, is going to support you, inspire you. From tonight's show, London Living with Rizwan Rashid, keep watching. I look for your suggestions, comments, and be able to help move forward to the different levels in your personal and professional life. Be an inspiration because you are here to inspire, not just to expire. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.